Hello, MCU fans. Today we're going to look at the awesome news that we finally have our Fantastic Four cast. We're going to look at who is in each role, how I think it's going to fit in the overall timeline, and the multiversal implications. So, without further ado, let's dive right in and see what we can find out. Don't forget, we have the February contest running all month long. Be a subscriber, leave a comment, and you might win a book or a steelbook. Best of luck. And we have the membership option in case you want to help support me in my goal of doing this full time one day. You get all kinds of cool perks, including behind the scenes videos. But no matter how you support the channel, it's all greatly appreciated. Leaving comments, liking videos, subscribing, it all goes a long way. So thank you so much. All right, so there have been many attempts to bring the Fantastic Four to the big screen. There was the mid-90s Roger Corman film, if we can call it a film, and it was about as good as any superhero film in the mid-90s. In other words, it wasn't any good. Then we had, in the mid-2000s, Fox Studios doing two Fantastic Four films with Chris Evans as a Human Torch, which was awesome. And of course, I think that ultimately led to his getting the role of Steve Rogers' Captain America. Jessica Alba was great as the Invisible Woman. They were just good films. Not spectacular, not bad, just good. The same cannot be said, however, for the 2015 film. I remember watching it and at first thinking, why are people so hard on this film? It's not that bad. And then it got really bad. So yeah, not good. But we did end up with a very cool fan casting dream come true with John Krasinski playing Mr. Fantastic in a Multiverse of Madness. So that was cool. But now we're finally going to get, officially, an MCU version of the Fantastic Four. And I think there is no way Kevin Feige is going to let this thing be anything but amazing because he's been so excited about doing this, it's like his baby. So he's going to make sure it is good from beginning to end. Another awesome thing is we will never have to hear another rumor about the casting for the Fantastic Four. Oh my word. I mean, look at this list of, or look at this picture of the many times rumored, absolutely for sure cast that was going to be doing the roles in the Fantastic Four. Nope, none of them. Not a one of them. We also had Matt Smith was thrown out there. Penn Badgley was thrown out there for Mr. Fantastic. Endless rumors. Obviously, I don't really cover these things on the channel because it just, I don't know. I could get more views, I guess. Tell me what you think. Should I be covering this type of stuff? But I like to just wait until we finally get our cast because I just don't get into all these different rumors. And the good news is we finally have our cast. Yes, the first family has officially been cast, and here they are. So I will admit, some of these aren't the actors or actresses that I would have even thought of for these roles, but I will also say I'm fine with all of them. I think they're going to be very, very good. I think they wouldn't have cast them if they didn't all work as a combo together well, so I have no issues. Let me know what you think. Are you excited? Do you have any concerns? Do you have others that you wish it would have been instead? For me, I'm just thrilled. We have our cast, and I cannot wait. So Pedro Pascal, of course, is very well known for playing the Mandalorian. I think the fact that he has done that work with Disney probably made this all fit all the more together well because he had contracts and everything set up. Clearly, he was in The Last of Us, though. He's done all kinds of things. He's all over the place. Very busy man, but he's going to be great. Vanessa Kirby. I thought she was fantastic in the Mission Impossible films. She's done a lot of other things too, but I really liked her in those. So I think she's going to knock it out of the park in the film. Joseph Quinn, of course, was crazy as Eddie in Stranger Things. It's interesting. I kind of thought they might go with a younger Johnny Storm, but then they're going with a mid-30s with Vanessa Kirby for Sue Storm, and they're kind of brother and sister, unless they change that for the movie. So they should be about the same age. So it works for him to be a little bit older. And then Evan Moss Bachrach, I'm probably totally butchering your name. Sorry, Evan. Fantastic actor. He played Micro in Punisher. In Punisher season 1, I should stress, I don't think he's going to come back. I think his story ended really well. And so it doesn't really matter that now he's playing a new role. Of course, we're barely going to see his face because he'll be the Thing for most of the movie. But like many actors and actresses that have played 2 roles in the MCU, he gets added to that list, and I think it'll be fine. He also was great in Andor. So another person who has relationships both with Marvel and with Disney. So yeah, very cool cast. Again, let me know your thoughts, but I am very excited. And it looks like we're getting a 5th member to the cast. Yes, H.E.R.B.I.E is joining the cast, or should I say H.E.R.B.I.E, because I guess it stands for Humanoid Experimental Robot B-Type Integrated Electronics. I did not know that. I just called him Herbie. So who knows if they're going to go with that for the movie or not. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. Obviously, he is from the late 70s cartoon. I remember watching in syndication these as a kid, and I thought they were cool. But I was always wondering why is there no Human Torch? I mean, I like Herbie, yeah, you're great, but where's the Human Torch? And there was this urban legend that before this cartoon had come out in the comics, some little kid was reading the comics, thought the Human Torch was cool, set himself on fire, burned himself badly, and so they're like, well, no way we can put this in a cartoon on Saturday mornings. No, total urban legend. No kid burned themselves. Thank goodness. Instead, I guess there was maybe some contractual obligations for the Human Torch somewhere else, so they couldn't use him in the cartoon. But hey, because of that, we got Herbie, so that's awesome. And he even showed up in the comics, so that was wild. Who knows what he's going to be like in the movie, but I'm really glad they're doing this nod to the history of the Fantastic Four by having him part of it. Very cool. So, when is this movie taking place? They give us some hints in the poster they gave us. Ben Grimm, the Thing, is reading this magazine, which sure looks like this cover from Life magazine. Came out December 13 of 1963. So that implies we're going to get, something happening, a period piece back in the 60s, which I think that works good because the Fantastic Four came out in the 60s. They were the first comic. That's why they call them the first family of Marvel. So yeah, I like it being in the 60s. That's cool. We get another hint because the picture has Ben Grimm in an astronaut costume, which sure looks like the one from circa 67 to 75, the Apollo spacewalk suit. So that would put us now maybe in later 60s potentially, and maybe he was just reading an earlier issue of Life magazine, so who knows. But again, I like this. Even the Marvel Studios Fantastic Four logo is kind of retro. So that's cool. I love the logo, by the way, but very retro. So yeah, it really looks like we're talking about a period piece. But I think the biggest hint as to when it might be happening is from Pedro Pascal's Instagram. He posted the poster to his Instagram and said, "From our family to yours, the Fantastic Four, in theaters, July 25th, 2025, hashtag all you need is love." So he might have put that because obviously the theme of the poster was Valentine's Day. It came out on Valentine's Day. Even had Reed giving Sue a box of chocolates. Smart move, Reed. Smart move. So that might be why Pedro said all you need is love. Or it could be a nod towards the Beatles' All You Need Is Love song, which came out in 1967. So again, we're looking at late 60s. And now that would make Dr. Strange's comment in Multiverse Madness true when he said, didn't you chart in the 60s? They technically did chart in the 60s. So it all comes together. But yeah, I am betting this will be a period piece, so love it. But then that means what's going on, right? We've never heard of the Fantastic Four, and yet they're going to be in the 60s. So maybe the question isn't when is the movie taking place, but where is the movie taking place? Where on earth is this thing? So they could kind of do what they've done with several stories about characters that we haven't seen for a while and tried to explain them. Like, for example, Captain America. Obviously, he was on ice since the World War II, similar to the comics, and then unfrozen rather, in 2011 MCU time. Great, we could go that route. I remember Ant-Man and the Wasp, the original Ant-Man and the Wasp, Hank and Janet. We learned that they've been around for many years, and we just didn't know because they were on secret missions. And of course, Janet gets sucked into the quantum realm. Hank gives up being Ant-Man, etc. They could go that route. And of course, really famously, Captain Marvel, right? Her origin was in the late 80s to mid 90s, and then she leaves, never to return to Earth until finally in Endgame. So they've done this trick a couple times now. To varying degrees of success. Do you think they're going to do it again? I don't. I don't think they're going to go this route again. I think they've done it enough, and I don't think they can get away with trying to say, well, you just didn't know they were here this whole time. And considering we have a multiverse saga going on now, I think it would be cool if the Fantastic Four takes place in a completely different universe. I mean, I've heard theories that maybe they started in 616, the main MCU, and then got sucked into some, rift and end up in a different universe. I'm okay with that. Theoretically, though, that should cause an incursion, but let's just say it didn't. So that's one possibility. But I could also see it entirely happening in another universe. So let's look at how that might fit into the multiversal timeline. So I did a video a couple days ago where I went through this in detail. I'm going to fly through it now. So check out the other video if you have any questions on, why I'm laying it out like this. But basically everything on the top is either outside of time, like Loki, or in the multiverse. The red dotted line is kind of the sacred timeline, if you will, because notice the loom is there and the tree. I altered a little bit from my earlier video. And then the bottom is the main MCU. So, of course, we have Avengers Endgame leading to Loki Season 1, which then leads to a long period of time with the Loom slowly falling apart and cracking, and we'll see the ramifications of that. Leads to the end of Loki Season 2, and, of course, the tree that was formed. The MCU timeline has both of the what-ifs happening after Loki, and, of course, What If Season 2 ties into the tree. So, yay. Then we end up with WandaVision, and now we're going to have several times where the multiverse has snuck in or out of 616. So we have No Way Home, where Doctor Strange had no idea that his botched spell would pull in the Spider-Man and would pull in the villains, and I think that was because there were cracks forming in the loom, and it led them to be pulled in. On the other hand, Multiverse of Madness let America Chavez come in, but then to take him back out into 838. And so he met the Illuminati, etc. And then we have Quantumania, where we have the Kang Council being able to now see clearly what's going on because the Loom is such a mess by this time. And that was in the post-credits to Quantumania. And, of course, Loki Season 2 refers back to Quantumania and the Kang that was seemingly killed. And lastly, we have the Marvels, which Monica, of course, went through, I believe, a crack in the Loom that led, of course, the Loom is pretty much demolished at this point, but led to a crack that took her over to the X-Men universe that we saw at the end. And I do think that's a different X-Men universe from Deadpool, because I think Deadpool is going to take place 100% in Fox X-Men timelines. I don't think he's going to make it to the MCU because it's the love story for Fox. And so we're going to see all the different characters, etc., and they're going to end up trapped in the void at the end. So, because I think there's one void and everything keeps funneling into it. You can watch my Deadpool video for more on that. But also, I think it'd be cool if the Fantastic Four takes place 100% in another universe, and at the end of the film, they end up in the void. So kind of think of it like the void is going to be Battleworld, and we're getting all of our action toys thrown into Battleworld one at a time. First, Deadpool, and then imagine like a post-credit scene for Fantastic Four where Reed Richards is looking around trying to figure out what's going on, and then he sees Deadpool. He's like, who the heck are you? And of course, Deadpool responds with, well, who the bleep are you? You can fill in whatever you want for the bleep. But I just think that would be so cool to slowly have everything landing in the void. Of course, we're also going to have Kang Dynasty, or whatever they call it, Doctor Strange 3, and finally Secret Wars. But yeah, just all the toys slowly getting thrown into the void. That would be really cool. But another reason I think things like Deadpool and Fantastic Four are going to take place completely outside the MCU and then end up in the void is we need time for these street level and political storylines to finish. Everything in red, with red dates, hasn't happened yet. And I think they're going to span MCU timeline-wise from, mid 2025 when Echo started, and that, of course, ties straight into Daredevil, and we're going to go all the way into late 2027. So all of these things need to happen before the multiverse goes nuts, because none of these have anything to do with the multiverse, I don't think, at least. So, yeah, I think things like Fantastic Four and Deadpool, therefore, are not going to affect the main MCU yet. Not yet. So then one last thing, let's look at the actual release dates for Fantastic Four, because we're going to see there's a little change, as well as the release dates for the rest of Phase 5. Because I did this at the end of last year of what I was guessing would be our slate. I'm still hoping we get that Scarlet Witch special middle row over on the right. But, and maybe we get Spider-Verse in spring of 2025, maybe. Who knows? Might be even later. But anyway, so you got all this stuff going on, but here's the real key. So originally, Fantastic Four was going to be May 2nd and Thunderbolts July 25th. But, as you saw in Pedro Pascal's post, we now know they switched places, which is cool, because that means Thunderbolts must be farther along than we thought. They must be ready to film and feel they can get it done, which is great. I'm all for that. We're going to get a really good year. So this is what I think will round out the rest of Phase 5 and 2025. So lots to look forward to. All right, let me know what you think. What do you think about the cast? What do you think about where they fit in the timeline? What do you think about where they are, which universe they're in? And finally, how the multiversal ramifications may all come together. Okay, February contest. Don't forget, be a subscriber, leave a comment. You might win a book or a steelbook. And of course, we have the membership option if you're interested in that. And we have our Discord server. I always like to remind folks we have all kinds of watches that we do together. There's a comic club, MMORPG, retrospectives, server awards, and a giant iceberg. That is crazy. The servers have been around for over a year. There's 1,200 members now. We just jumped up to 1,200. Love to have you join. Love you have to be part of the fun. It's a global event, so somebody's always on talking about something. I will leave a pinned comment so you can join if you'd like. Also, if you don't mind, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more content, and we'll all continue to enjoy the ever-growing, ever-changing Marvel Cinematic Universe.